Good morning, family. So y'all are getting some of this real this morning because um, I'm actually in Houston and I just got up a little while ago and I was looking on Facebook and I was checking out a conversation between Dondre Whitfield and Ed Gordon, and I found the conversation to be quite interesting. And so I figured I'd get on and I'd share my perspective about the conversation. What I find to be interesting is when brothers actually have an opportunity to have a soft, or they find a soft place to fall with one another. I love to see those conversations happen because they need to find a soft place to fall with one another. Sisters have an opportunity to do that quite frequently. I can call a number of different girlfriends, and if I need to have a conversation or talk my way through something or have a soft place to fall, burst into tears, whatever the case may be, I can frequently find that opportunity to do that. It gives me a soft place to fall. And so I remember Ian Van Zant talked about brothers tend not to have a soft place to fall. And so I love that when I see that they are providing that for one another. I also love that when I see them holding one another accountable. So I say that to say I was watching this conversation with them, and sometimes I watch the conversations and I have there's things about it that I love and other things about it that I have challenges with. And so they were discussing a book that Dondre has written, Male versus Man, and I applaud him for writing the book. And I was listening to what they were saying, and Ed Gordon was talking about how his father passed away, and Dondre was talking about a conversation he had with his mother about, her being unable to teach him how to be a man. And I understand and absolutely agree with parts of that. I say that to say this. So, um, what happens when women have sons, and for whatever reason they find themselves alone in raising these sons, um, it is challenging for us. I raised two sons. Although their fathers were involved in the household, I was the only figure that they had every day in the home for whatever reason, right? So I am raising these sons. Now, I've never believed that I could teach a man how to be a man. I've never been under that illusion that I feel like so many women can be. Uh, I've never believed that. What I do think is I had the ability to teach them how to be, have the aspects of what I felt a good man would have, but teaching them how to be men, no, because I've never been a man. With that being said, um, I don't believe that sometimes women are taken under consideration when having these conversations. And I'm not saying that our feelings have to be at the forefront of this. I don't want that to be the misconception because I don't want to misrepresent myself. I'm not saying that. I do believe that men healing needs to be at the forefront of the conversation because I feel like that hasn't been at the forefront most times. I do want it to be considered that sometimes we are deemed helpless, or we are then left hopeless in raising these men. And if that is the case, then you have to make sure that you have men who are going to step up. Forgive me, these nails look a mess, but that are going to step up and actually um, be the men that are going to show these men how to be men. I was fortunate. I have what I consider my father in law. He's my father in love, although his son and I were not married. Um, Anyone who knows me knows that I absolutely love my father in law. He is the best thing since sliced bread. I was literally telling my mother recently that I need to sit down and really write him a letter um, and share with him just how much I love him because I don't think he really knows. And in a time like this, with all that has happened, I want him to know just how much he means to me. But I digress. So my point is I feel like too often We tell women that they can't raise these young men to be men, yet where are the men who are stepping up to show them how? And if they're not going to step up, then what you've done is you deem these women helpless. So if we're going to tell the women that they can't raise these men to be men, then we have to also find it just as necessary to provide men for these women to raise men. Because if you don't, then you will have a whole sea of what? Because if you don't have men to raise them and you're telling her that she can't, then what happens? What are you raising then? What are you telling her that she's raising then? And I just want us to consider those things. I do think it's valuable information for other men, to then realize, okay, to say it, because it's got to be said. If you're saying you can't raise them, if you can't raise them to be men, cool. Then who's going to do it? And so I just think too often, I have this battle often, that sometimes brothers are not holding other brothers accountable to do the things that they say brothers are supposed to be doing. Women do that. We hold each other accountable. I am the friend that the friends call when they're ready for the truth. So I would just say that that's fine. I was fortunate. Like I said, I had my father-in-law. I had many guy friends that were really good guys. And I've always kept good men in my sons' lives. And I've always given them options of people they can talk to this day, because that was important, because I knew I couldn't raise a man to be men. But that's not everybody's reality. And so what happens when that's not her reality? She doesn't have that. My dad is 3,000 miles away. So what happens if that's not her reality? What happens to those young men that you're saying that the very person that is available to them every day, cannot raise them to be men? Just a little food for thought. I want to share my thoughts with you, family. I hope you all have a beautiful day. And seriously, give that some thought, because our sons are hanging in the balance, and it's absolutely unfair to them. It's unfair to these mothers who are doing the work, and it's time that we all step up. I love my brothers, I love my sisters, and I love our children. They're yours, they're mine, they're ours. So then, if I can't help my sons be men, then I need my brothers to help my sons be men. And that means that if you didn't biologically create him, you still have to help raise him. And that's not to say that some are not, because I know I have some great guy friends. I have a friend of mine, shout out to Ray Lacey. He is like my brother. He couldn't be closer. He couldn't be any closer. He couldn't be biological and be closer to me. He is like my brother. He has gotten under the hood of a car, under a car with my sons. My sons can call him for advice. If they need him, he's there. Like an uncle would be. And don't get me wrong, they have uncles. But he's like my brother, and he treats them accordingly. And so if that's the case, I need more men to stand up like that. And if that is because if I can't teach him, and like I say, he'll tell me, okay, Angela, yeah, so you can't do that, or you can't do this, or you can't say that, or let them bump their heads in a heartbeat. And then they'll call him, particularly my oldest, and have conversations with him that I know nothing about, and I'm not supposed to. So I just say we need brothers. We need more brothers willing to do that. Because what happens to us only children out here, because I'm an only child. I'm my father and my mother's only child. I have no uncles that I see on a regular basis that can do that with my sons. None of my uncles live in town that I talk to, So if none of my uncles are in town and I'm an only child, what am I supposed to do? So I just want us to give those things some thought, because it's really important. With that being said, I'm going to go enjoy my day, my Saturday in H-Town. And I hope you guys have a lovely day and take this food for thought. I'm hoping to plant a seed and watch it blossom. Y'all have a wonderful day. Thanks so much and goodbye.